Hello, it's Brick Bros UK and we have managed to complete our alternative build for the LEGO Star Wars Resistance Transport Pod 75176, which we know is a build lots of you guys have been waiting to see. So it's nice to finally be able to show you what we've built because a lot of thought went into this creation, and after some time designing and building, we eventually ended up with the alternative build we're calling the LEGO Star Wars Bacta Tank Chamber, which includes a Bacta Tank chamber building with an entrance, some droids and a defense turret. So if you like the look of this Bacta Tank chamber, you can follow our step-by-step build tutorial at the end to make it, but first let's review this cool new creation. And to begin with, as far as spare parts go, we didn't have many left over because as you can see we just had a stud shooter with 2 pieces remaining, but if you wanted to use them up you could add them into the build. Now the main build is the Bacta Tank Chamber, which is basically a small resistance base where minifigures can be healed after battle, like Finn at the end of The Force Awakens. And we thought you guys would like this chamber because it's different plus expands play, and it has a solid grey colour scheme like most Star Wars buildings thanks to the transport pod parts. So if we start on the left, this is where we built the large Bacta tank, which was the pod's cockpit before, and as you can see we've mounted it upright to make it look like a tank, but of course it doesn't have a traditional Bacta tank design. However, the yellow canopy with all the sticker detail gives it a great design, making it stand out well. It's also got orange steps that lead up to it, and on the side we attached extra tiles to represent circuitry with a grey wheel below, which is quite an important piece because it activates the main play feature. But before we show you this in action, we need to put a minifigure inside. So when you want to open up the tank, you simply take off the front canopy, and inside there's lots of space for all the healing fluid with a raised platform in the centre, which is where you can place in Finn. Then once he's sealed inside, you can turn the wheel on the side we showed you earlier to spin the minifigure and speed up the healing process, which is fun to use with any of your characters. Moving on to the rest of the build, to the right of the Bacta tank is the computer controls that Rose can use, and above the computer is the Bacta tank's healing fluid pipes that flow from the trans-light blue storage vessels into the tank, so they're a vital part of the build, plus look nice too. Further along is the chamber's entranceway, which has a couple of weapons clips on the left and detailed sticker walling either side of the arched entrance. And with the remaining blue headpiece we used it as a medical light on top, which helps identify the building as a medical facility to other resistance troopers. It's also got a plate floor so you can clip on minifigures, but we sadly couldn't make a blast door due to the limited pieces, but to be honest it looks okay without one. And as an extra touch, if you're under attack you can grab a thermal detonator from the supply box clipped in the entranceway. Now if we turn right round to the outside, this part of the entrance has a bare look as it's exposed to the elements. So there's not much to see except this corner area where we've created this complex connection that allowed us to angle the building so it has a better display shape and keeps it structurally sound. Then with the transport pod's spare orange fin and Technic parts, we built a moisture evaporator so Finn and Rose can collect water. And finally, from this side you can see the brick-built stand that holds up the Bacta tank, so that's the Bacta tank chamber build, which is great to use with Finn, Rose and BB-8. Next up, to expand and improve play, we constructed 2 droids to help the resistance. So on the left, this one's a square mini gonk droid that has small legs and orange binocular piece on the side for a sensor and a stud eye. Then on the right, this droid is the Bacta tank medical droid, which is bigger and has a black grille visor head, 2 surgical arms and a rotating feature so it can assist in any medical situation. So you should be able to add these guys to the chamber to work with the minifigures. And last up, to defend the Bacta tank chamber from the First Order, we made a defense turret that has a light grey twin circle base with piping that will make it blend in with the rest of the build. Then for firepower we attached its rectangle missile shooter that can elevate up and down to fire at ground or aerial targets. So this defense turret helps make battles fun and really packs a punch when you fire it at minifigures. On a final note, our Bacta tank chamber alternative build is a build we're quite proud of because instead of just having a transport pod, you now have a Bacta tank chamber building that has an attractive design and lots of play potential because you can stick Finn in the Bacta tank, then get Rose to spin him to heal his wounds. You can also turn the moisture evaporator to get water and guard or defend the entrance with the defense turret. And to help you out with lots of casualties or work, you have 2 new droids that nicely boost up the resistance numbers, so this Bacta tank chamber would be great to use as a base, or you could add it to a larger resistance facility you might have. So if you're looking for something different and like this creation as much as we do, you should watch on now to see our step-by-step build tutorial. And that's the finished build, so now you can enjoy this Bacta tank chamber, or maybe you've taken inspiration from the build to make something more awesome. Hope you enjoyed a Brick Bros UK alternative build, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to Brick Bros UK.